Welcome back to our Health and Wellness podcast. I'm your host, Sarah. Today we have a very special episode lined up for you, touching on a topic that I think is becoming incredibly common in almost every household. Joining me today is Dr. Evans, a renowned specialist in geriatric medicine. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thank you, Sarah. It's a pleasure to be here. This is a topic I'm very passionate about because I see the consequences of it in my clinic almost every single day.
Absolutely. You know, Dr. Evans, I've noticed something quite strange lately. I often visit nursing homes or just stop by to see my elderly relatives, and there is one thing that is always on the table. It's not just food anymore. It's a tray full of colorful pills.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The famous supplement tray.
Exactly. And it's not just prescription medication, it's vitamins, a lot of them. Everyone seems to tell them, don't take Western medicine, it has side effects. Just take vitamins, they are harmless and healing. But here is the paradox I'm seeing. Despite taking all these healthy things, the rates of high liver enzymes, heart failure, and memory loss in the elderly seem to be skyrocketing. It doesn't make sense. What is your take on this reality?
You have hit the nail on the head, Sarah. Let's get straight to the heart of the problem. The reason why we are seeing heart, liver, and brain issues persist, or even worsen, despite all this supplementation, is actually quite simple. It usually comes down to one thing: misunderstanding how our bodies handle these substances.
So, are you saying that the vitamins themselves might be the problem?
Not the vitamins per se, but the way they're being used. You see, Sarah, I often compare the human liver to a warehouse, specifically a small warehouse in the countryside.
A warehouse? That's an interesting analogy.
It really is the best way to visualize it. Imagine your liver is this warehouse. If every single day trucks keep arriving and dumping goods, in this case vitamins and supplements, into that warehouse, but nobody is there to check inventory or ship things out, what happens?
Well, eventually the warehouse would be full. It would be overflowing.
Precisely. And in an elderly person, the staff in that warehouse, meaning their metabolic enzymes and organ function, are tired. They work slower than they did when the person was 20. So when you load up on a multivitamin in the morning, a vision supplement at noon, a liver detox pill in the afternoon, and an immune booster at night, the warehouse collapses. The liver cannot process it all.
That sounds terrifying when you put it that way. So essentially, by trying to help, they are accidentally poisoning themselves?
Sadly, yes. It leads to a condition we call reverse toxicity. The very things meant to support the liver end up overloading it because the input exceeds the processing capacity. And it's not just the volume, it's the combinations. Many people think the more the better. But if you look closely at the labels, many of these supplements have overlapping ingredients. You might be taking 3 pills that all contain vitamin A, for example.
And they wouldn't even know it because they just look at the brand names, right? Brain support, eye support, immune support.
Exactly. They're stacking ingredients without realizing it. And unlike a young person whose body might be able to flush out the excess, an elderly body struggles. It's like a traffic jam inside the organs. The heart has to pump harder to manage the metabolic load, the brain gets foggy from the chemical imbalance, and the liver, well, the liver just gives up.
That is such a crucial perspective shift. We tend to think of vitamins as these magical, harmless helpers, but clearly they can become a burden.
They absolutely can. And today, I want to be very specific. I don't want to just give general advice. I want to warn our listeners about 3 specific groups of vitamins that are most commonly misused and cause the most damage to the liver, heart, and brain in the elderly.
I think everyone listening is grabbing a pen and paper right now. I'm certainly curious. What's the first one on your list, Doctor?
The first one, and perhaps the most dangerous when misused, is vitamin A, specifically high-dose vitamin A supplements.
Vitamin A? That's surprising. I feel like we always hear about vitamin A being good for the eyes, especially for older people whose vision is deteriorating. Why is it at the top of your warning list?
It is good for the eyes, Sarah, but the devil is in the dosage and the delivery method.
You see, vitamin A belongs to a group we call fat-soluble or oil-soluble vitamins.
Could you break that down for us? What does oil-soluble mean in practical terms for our body?
Sure, think of it this way. Water-soluble vitamins, like vitamin C, are like guests who visit your house, stay for a bit, and then leave easily through the back door, which represents your urine. If you take too much vitamin C, your body just flushes it out. No harm, no foul, usually.
Okay, that makes sense. Easy in, easy out.
Right, but vitamin A is oil-soluble. It doesn't dissolve in water, it dissolves in fat. This means it doesn't leave easily. Once it enters the body, if it's not used immediately, it gets stored in the liver's fat cells. It's like a guest who comes over, unpacks their bags, and decides to live in your spare room forever.
Oh, I see. So it accumulates.
It accumulates aggressively. Imagine that warehouse analogy again. Vitamin A supplements, especially the high-dose gel capsules, are like heavy, bulky crates. If you keep stacking them in the liver day after day and the liver can't break them down fast enough, the warehouse becomes completely blocked.
So the liver is basically suffocating under piles of vitamin A.
That is a very vivid but accurate description. This leads to liver toxicity. And ironically, while people take it to help their eyes or skin, toxic levels of vitamin A can actually cause hair loss, confusion, and even liver damage or failure. It puts immense stress on the organ.
That is incredibly counterintuitive. So, Dr. Evans, are you suggesting seniors should stop taking vitamin A altogether?
Not at all. We need vitamin A, but we need to change the source. I strongly advise against high-dose pills unless a doctor specifically prescribes them for a diagnosed deficiency. Instead, we should look at the precursor forms found in food.
You mean like beta-carotene?
Exactly. Beta-carotene found in carrots, pumpkins, sweet potatoes, and dark leafy greens. The body is actually very smart, Sarah. It acts like a sophisticated kitchen.
I love your analogies today. Tell us about this kitchen.
Well, when you eat a carrot, you're giving your body beta-carotene. The body's kitchen looks at it and says, okay, do we need vitamin A right now? If the answer is yes, it converts that beta-carotene into vitamin A. If the answer is no, it simply stores the beta-carotene harmlessly or eliminates it. It doesn't force the conversion.
That is fascinating. So natural food has a built-in safety valve?
Precisely. It's a self-regulating system. But when you take a high-dose vitamin A pill, you are essentially taking a tanker truck of oil and dumping it directly into the kitchen, regardless of whether the chef needs it or not. That's where the danger lies.
That makes it so clear. It's about control. With food, the body is in control. With high-dose pills, the pill forces the body to react.
Correct. And for an elderly liver that might already be dealing with other medications for blood pressure or diabetes, forcing it to process excess oil-soluble vitamins is just cruel. It's an unnecessary burden.
So for our listeners, the takeaway here is swap the yellow pills for the orange vegetables.
Ideally, yes. A slice of pumpkin, a bit of carrot cooked with a little healthy oil, because remember, it needs fat to be absorbed, is infinitely safer and better than a daily pill.
Okay, noted. No more stockpiling vitamin A pills. Now, Dr. Evans, you mentioned there were 3 types. We've covered the first one. What is the second villain in this story?
The second one is often marketed as the fountain of youth. It's vitamin E.
Vitamin E? Everyone loves vitamin E. It's supposed to be for anti-aging, smooth skin, and protecting cells. How can that be bad?
It is wonderful in the right amounts, but again, it's about the balance. Many elderly people take high doses of vitamin E thinking it will protect their heart and brain because it's an antioxidant.
Right. Antioxidant is such a buzzword. We're told we need to fight oxidation to stop aging. So what goes wrong with vitamin E?
Let me use another analogy here. Imagine oxidation, the aging process, is like a small fire in a building. Vitamin E acts like a firefighter. When you have a small fire, sending in a few firefighters is great. They put it out, save the building, and everyone is happy.
Okay, that sounds positive.
But what happens if you send in 10,000 firefighters for a tiny trash can fire?
Chaos. Absolute chaos. They'd be bumping into each other, blocking the exits.
Exactly. They would destroy the building faster than the fire would. That is what happens when you overdose on vitamin E supplements. You flood your system with so many antioxidants that they start interfering with the body's natural signaling processes. Instead of protecting the cells, they create a state of stress. We call it reductive stress, which can be just as damaging as oxidative stress.
Wow, too many firefighters. That really puts it into perspective. And I've heard rumors that vitamin E can affect blood. Is that true?
It is very true and very serious for the elderly. Vitamin E has mild blood thinning properties. Now, think about the average 70-year-old patient. Many of them are already on some form of medication for their heart, maybe aspirin or something to prevent clots.
Oh my goodness. So if they take vitamin E on top of that,
They are doubling the effect. It significantly increases the risk of bleeding, internal bleeding, bleeding in the brain, or just inability to stop bleeding from a minor cut. I've seen patients come in with unexplained bruising or nosebleeds, and when we check their history, they're taking high-dose vitamin E alongside their heart medication.
that is incredibly dangerous. And I bet most people don't even think to tell their cardiologist they are taking a skin vitamin.
They don't. They think it's just a beauty supplement, but it has systemic effects. It puts the heart and vascular system under precarious conditions.
So, similar to vitamin A, is there a safer way to get vitamin E without risking this firefighter chaos?
Absolutely. Nature always provides the best packaging. Vitamin E is abundant in nuts and seeds, almonds, sunflower seeds, even just a little bit of olive oil or avocado.
And I assume the body regulates absorption from these sources better too.
It does. When you eat a handful of almonds, you're getting vitamin E mixed with fiber, healthy fats, and other minerals. The absorption is slow and steady. It's like sending in the firefighters one by one, exactly where they are needed. It's not a flood.
I love that. It seems like the recurring theme here is that we are trying to outsmart nature with these concentrated pills, but nature's original design was better all along.
You cannot beat millions of years of evolution, Sarah. Our bodies are designed to extract nutrients from food, not from compressed chemical tablets.
So, to recap, vitamin A accumulates in the liver like a clogged warehouse. Vitamin E can act like a chaotic army of firefighters and thin the blood too much. That brings us to the third one, and I have a feeling this one might be the most surprising of all.
It is. This third group is the B-complex vitamins, specifically B6 and B12.
Wait, vitamin B? But Dr. Evans, B vitamins are water-soluble. You just told us earlier that water-soluble vitamins are the polite guests who leave easily. How can they be harmful?
You are paying close attention, Sarah. That's great. Yes, chemically, they are water-soluble and safer in terms of toxicity compared to A and E. However, the danger with vitamin B for the elderly isn't usually toxicity. It's about timing and the effect on the nervous system.
Timing? You mean like when we take them?
Exactly. Vitamin B is essentially the energy vitamin. It plays a huge role in nerve conduction and helping the body produce energy from food. When you take a strong B complex, it wakes up your nervous system. It tells your brain, okay, time to work, lights on, let's go.
I think I see where this is going. If you take that at the wrong time,
Precisely. Imagine your brain is a corporate office building. At night, you want the lights to dim, the workers to go home, and the janitors to clean up so the building is ready for the next day.
right, we need that shutdown mode.
But what happens if you pop a high-dose vitamin B pill at 8 p.m.? It's like flipping the main breaker switch and turning all the floodlights on in that office building. You're forcing the brain to be alert, active, and excited right when it's trying to wind down.
And so many elderly people suffer from insomnia already.
It is an epidemic, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen a patient complaining of chronic insomnia. They're taking sleeping pills, drinking herbal teas, doing everything right, but then I look at their table, and there it is, a bottle of B complex that they take right after dinner.
Because they think, oh, I took my medicine after dinner, so I should take my vitamins then too. It's just a habit.
Exactly. It's a routine. But that routine is keeping their brain in a state of high alert. It's like drinking a double espresso before bed, but chemically.
The neurons are firing, the office is buzzing with activity, and then they wonder why they stare at the ceiling until 2 a.m.
That is such a simple fix, though. So just changing the time of day could cure their insomnia?
In many cases, yes. I've had patients who stopped taking B vitamins at night and switched to the morning, and within a week, their sleep quality improved dramatically. It wasn't the vitamin itself that was bad, it was just the wrong tool at the wrong time.
So morning or lunch only for vitamin B?
Morning is best. Let that energy boost help you through the day. By the time evening comes, the effects have worn off, and your brain can naturally dim the lights for sleep.
That makes perfect sense. It's all about working with the body's natural rhythm, not fighting against it.
Correct. We have to respect the circadian rhythm. Our organs, the liver, the kidneys, the brain, they all have a clock. If we disrupt that clock with ill-timed supplements, we pay the price in health.
Dr. Evans, we've covered the three big warnings, vitamin A, E, and B, but I know you also have a philosophy about cleaning house. You mentioned earlier that the liver is like a warehouse that needs inventory checks. How can our listeners actually apply this?
I'm glad you asked. This is the actionable part. I call it the 5-minute morning inventory.
I like the sound of that. What does it involve?
It's very simple. Instead of blindly reaching for pill bottles the moment you wake up, I want everyone to start their day with a glass of warm water. Just water. Maybe a slice of lemon if you like.
Just water?
Just water. This signals the warehouse, the liver and kidneys, to open the doors and flush out the waste from the night before. It wakes up the digestive system gently.
Okay, step one, warm water. What's next?
Step 2 is the table check. I want the elderly or their caregivers to put all the pill bottles on the table, line them up, and literally look at them. Ask yourself, do I actually know what this one does? Did a doctor prescribe this, or did I just buy it because of a TV commercial?
That requires a bit of honesty, doesn't it?
It does. And if you find 3 bottles that all say multivitamin or support, you are probably doubling up. That is the moment to stop. Take a photo of them, bring the list to your doctor, and ask, which of these can I throw away?
I imagine that would feel like a huge weight lifted off their shoulders and their livers.
It really is. A decluttered table leads to a decluttered body. When you reduce the chemical load, the liver can finally breathe. It can focus on its real job, which is filtering toxins and managing metabolism rather than processing unnecessary supplements.
A decluttered table leads to a decluttered body. I'm going to write that down. That is powerful.
It's a lifestyle shift, Sarah, and it extends to the plate as well. We talked about food sources earlier. I always tell my patients, instead of a pill plate, make a color plate.
A color plate.
Yes. Look at your lunch. Is it beige and brown, or does it have the orange of carrots for vitamin A, the green of spinach for vitamin B, and the texture of nuts for vitamin E?
So you're visually checking your vitamins on the plate instead of in the bottle.
Exactly. If your plate is colorful, your body is getting what it needs. You don't need the synthetic insurance policy of a pill if your diet is vibrant.
That sounds so much more delicious than swallowing a handful of capsules, I have to say.
And cheaper, too. But there is one last thing, Sarah. We talked about the liver and the heart, but we need to talk about the commander, the brain.
The commander, right. Because if the brain isn't happy, the whole city shuts down. What is your final piece of advice for brain health, especially regarding this overload issue?
It's about the power down ritual. We mentioned not taking vitamin B at night, but we need to actively help the brain switch off. Many elderly people have what I call racing brain syndrome. They worry, they think about their health, their children, the past.
It's hard to turn that off.
It is, but we can use physiology to help psychology. I recommend a very simple breathing exercise right before bed. It takes 2 minutes.
Can we try it, or can you describe it?
Sure. It's the 4-7-8 technique, or even just simple, slow breathing. You inhale deeply for a count of 4, hold it for a few seconds, and then exhale very slowly for a count of 8.
In for 4, out for 8. Why does that work?
When you exhale longer than you inhale, you are physically flipping a switch in your nervous system. You are moving from the sympathetic state, which is fight or flight, stress, anxiety, to the parasympathetic state, which is rest and digest.
So it's a biological trigger for relaxation.
Yes, It tells the heart to slow down. It tells the brain, we are safe, we can sleep now. This is far more effective and safer than any sleeping pill or sedative supplement.
It's amazing how the best solutions are often the simplest ones. Breathing, drinking water, eating colorful vegetables. We've complicated health so much with all these products.
We have. We've commercialized health. But true health, especially for the elderly, is about return to simplicity. It's about respecting the organ's capacity. Don't overload the warehouse, don't flood the building with firefighters, and don't turn the lights on at midnight.
Dr. Evans, this has been incredibly enlightening. I think you've given our listeners not just warnings, but a roadmap to fix these issues starting today.
That is my hope. If just one person clears off their table today and sleeps better tonight, we've done our job.
Before we let you go, is there one final thought you'd like to leave with our audience?
Yes, treat your body like a partner, not a machine. Listen to it. If you take a pill and feel tired or heavy, that is your body speaking to you. Trust that signal more than you trust a label on a bottle. And please, involve your doctor in these decisions. We're here to help you navigate this, not just to prescribe more medicine.
Trust your body more than the label. That is a beautiful note to end on. Thank you so much, Dr. Evans, for sharing your expertise with us today.
Thank you, Sarah. Stay healthy, everyone.
And thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. Remember, check that inventory, eat your colors, and breathe deeply. We'll see you in the next episode of Health and Wellness. Good night.